and what gets me also, Jamie, we talked about how they like to destroy things, and it's got to be new. And sometimes you don't know when they kill the golden goose.
Yeah.
If you look at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, at least they haven't touched that.
The scariest, most rickety elevator in the city. It's still there.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go ride the horseshoe elevator. You think you might not make it. To most who have never, definitely to those who have never worked in the service industry.
Yeah.
And to those that have worked in the service industry, as you're saying, on a smaller scale, it is shocking.
Yeah.
CBD cocktails. What do you think?
I don't know. I'll try it.
Well, I know you will, John.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
and then there was Marianne and Ginger.
Marianne, Ginger, and
you
the professor.
You could classify kids. That was kind of the thing to do. I mean, psychologically.
Yeah.
Which one of those women did you really like? And
Marianne.
Yeah, I like Marianne too.
Absolutely. Las Vegas, Las Vegas is one of the more interesting cities, in my opinion, in the fact that it is ever changing.
Yeah.
As you and I have discussed many, many times, it's they shun the old, they destroy and build the new, and then they go from there. But they still have a real nostalgia for the old. But one thing that never changes to me, and I'm so glad, is that you can still drive in, even though the 11 is open.
Yeah.
And all the new pathways that are open. When you drive in, you sort of crest over the Henderson, on the freeway.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yep.
And you can see the lights. You can, especially if you're driving at night, you can see the glow. And oftentimes, it's not on all the time now because of, the power usage, but you can see the Luxor light.
Yes.
And it was always very comforting. It's just like, oh my God, I'm fine. And my trip, unfortunately, was often from Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I would see that, and it's just like the whirring and the buzzing of the machines when I go to the airport. It was so nice to see that glow. You approach it a little bit differently, but you still go over that hill, and there it is. There's the town.
Yeah.
Very small, a little tiny town, really.
Yeah, yeah. And what gets me also, Jamie, we talked about how they like to destroy things, and it's got to be new. And sometimes you don't know when they kill the golden goose.
Yeah.
If you look at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, at least they haven't touched that. Now, they made it a lot easier to get to.
Yes.
But the sign is still the same one. And why don't they realize sometimes that people don't want a different sign, right? They seem to realize that. But maybe there are other aspects of the city that they should keep as well, that it doesn't need to be updated, that there are people who are, look who your demographics are, look at the people that have money.
Right.
We look at some of the shows that play here, the headliners, and they tend to be, a little long in the tooth. Even we kind of laugh about these old rock stars that come here with a residency, Def Leppard being the latest one, Aerosmith. But you look at their fan base, and a lot of them are, they're getting up there. But when you get up there, you tend to have a little more disposable income too.
Sure.
So that's why they can charge ridiculous prices for it. Remember the Eagles back in 2000 when they came here, they were like $250 a ticket. Back then, you remember, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, and Andre Bocelli, he comes in at $3 still, I think.
Yeah.
But you're right. And I even a comedian that I find to be very funny, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
He was running $1.50.
Yeah.
Which is a little high for comedians, but he's kind of riding a wave of being very popular right now. So,
yeah.
But you're right. It's those changes. It's the internal changes of Vegas that you have to watch out for. The external ones have sort of stopped. There's new internal construction. There's new bars and new this, new millennial that, and blah blah. But as far as the landscape,
it hasn't
changed
no,
much
in
probably the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Especially since the crash.
Yeah.
The Echelon was over there for a long time, and now it's going to be the new that new Hong Kong themed or Asian themed. That's been just a hole in the ground forever.
Yeah.
And that was the last change of the landscape. Otherwise it's just been cosmetic, sort of the facades.
Even downtown. The anchors of downtown really were the Golden Nugget. I don't think that's really changed very much the last time I was there. Yeah. Some of the other ones, like the Four Queens, they're never going to do anything with that.
I don't think
know.
so. Nor should they.
Yeah.
They have
No,
a
they shouldn't.
they have a success. They generate revenue.
Yeah.
They have good restaurants.
Yeah.
It just unfortunately it's downtown.
Yeah.
I was always sorry to see the major changes to the horseshoe.
Yes. That was because that was an anchor.
It was, and it was for pure gamblers, pure poker players.
Yeah.
Not these weenies that play online and think they're celebrities.
And they had the celebrated steakhouse, right? I mean, Binion had his own cattle ranch.
Oh my gosh!
You know, so and it was cheap, right? I mean, if I remember, it was.
And the scariest, most rickety elevator.
Yeah.
In the city. It's still there. Yeah. If you get a chance, go ride the horseshoe elevator. You think you might not make it. But episode 97, we're inching closer.
We're getting closer.
Yeah, big happenings. Big happenings. The pod bay door. John's here. And we both are safe from the snow.
Yes.
It's been a decade.
Yes.
You and I were both here in 2008.
Yeah.
I was living in a little house up on the top of Seven Hills.
Yeah.
And it snowed like a mother then. Now where I live in a much larger home down here in 89123. I got a dusting.
Yeah.
And John, you sent me a picture. It looked
yeah,
pretty good.
It looked, I mean, it covered my grass in the back.
Yeah.
No other area, just that. And it wasn't, it was just enough to give it like a coat of paint almost.
Right.
It really wasn't anything to what I've experienced in other places I've lived.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time since I've been here in Las Vegas. Yeah. On either time when I lived here before, and I even lived up in the hills higher.
Right.
That we actually had snow that stayed on the ground. For me and where I lived.
Yes. Yeah. The nice thing about Vegas when it snows every 10 years, is that it disappears. We don't have the sludge and the crap and everything else, or a little bit, but it's not like real, the industrial cities. But the first measurable snow in a decade. So 2000, it's been. I mean, we have little tiny things and they disappear in the air, but this was nice.
What's a joke, and I think it'd be a joke to anybody that lives on the East Coast or in New York or Minnesota.
Oh gosh,
was that they closed the schools today. They had a snow day. There's no snow on the ground. They were saying, well, the roads might be icy in the morning and the school buses.
Yeah.
So we better be safe. And I mean, the snow is not uniform all over the city. In the hills still. Right. Yeah, I was surprised here. They had upwards of 5 inches. Where I'm at, even in Henderson, it was maybe 2 inches, but that's at the high point. Most places were like I had, and there was nothing. And that was yesterday. Today, there's nothing.
Yeah.
But they decided to close the schools today, and my guess is that because they didn't want this hassle of closing some schools and not others.
Right.
So they have to make it up. So just like fuck it, close them all, and then all the kids have to make up this day, in May or whenever.
Yeah. I'm sure many cities are like this that have extreme swings in weather. But Las Vegas, they lose their mind.
Yeah.
A little bit of ice, a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow, and it's just, it's like nuclear winter. Nobody knows what to do.
Exactly. And I did see on the weather report that for next week, which will be the last week of February, going into March, we'll be up again back into the mid to high 60s.
Yes.
So 70 degrees is just around the corner.
Gosh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Actually, what winter and brings, unfortunately, and there's been a lot of it this year, I think. Wind.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is so windy.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing and discouraging to the locals and surprising to the the visitors. But I'll be glad when that stops because we need a break
even
from the
wind.
Even the
spring, it gets pretty.
Oh,
windy
April,
here.
May,
I don't like the wind.
But so we often talk about our tenure as concierge at the Venetian Hotel. Great stories that we have from it, and but one thing that has always remained steady is the fact that John and I have always really categorized ourselves as a certain type of concierge, and this type unfortunately was beholden to the corporate structure of the hotel that Vegas has become. no longer, controlled by the mob and no longer have the freedom to do things. We were pretty hamstrung, based on the very few things we could do. We were, as John has said in the past, we were just basically ticket sellers to whatever. Not to say that we didn't make an extreme effort to the guests that were kind and generous, of course, to do things. I mean, flowers and candy, and we begged, borrow, and stole, and did everything we could under the table to really be the concierge that we thought we were going to be.
Yeah.
Well, John sent me an interesting, to give you this dichotomy, to give you this sort of black and white difference between the concierge at the Venetian and in Vegas in general, and what a real concierge does. The real effort that they make. John had sent me a link to a CNN travel article, loosely titled "Global Getaway: 5-Star Concierges." Please, John, tell us the story.
Well, they covered some stories from concierge who work at 5-star hotels in Dubai. And I think one of the stories...
To where you've been.
To where I have been, yes. And I have stayed in 5-star hotels in Dubai. And I thought it was interesting that the one hotel that I stayed in had 16 restaurants, just like the Venetian.
Yes.
When we worked there. But instead of the Venetian having, at that time, that when I worked there, we had 3,036 rooms. The hotel I stayed in had 250. But 16 restaurants. So there is an economy of scale here, as we've talked about. These concierges are high-end concierges, what we think of, but they have nowhere near the volume. You and I have dealt with more guests probably in 6 months than these people do in their entire lives in terms of sheer numbers.
To most who have never, definitely to those who have never worked in the service industry.
Yeah.
And to those that have worked in the service industry, as you're saying, on a smaller scale, it is shocking.
Yeah.
When you work in a major facility like the Venetian, the MGM, Caesars, and so on, you walk out on the floor that first day.
Yeah.
It's a little unnerving.
Yeah, in fact, the only other job that I had that came close to that was when I worked a concession stands at the 49er games. And it would just be a line of people, right? I mean, there's a line, it's that goes 6-8 deep, particularly before the game, and then at halftime it would pick up again. And it was the same thing at the hotel. You have certain people checking in, people checking out. Those are really kind of heavy times. Right. So it was the same work in that. And I used to say, the memory's a joke. We have these really nice uniforms. At least they look nice from a distance. Where's my paper hat? Because it really was more like, I mean, if you were, I would guess you could liken it to the difference between being a waiter in a really elegant restaurant where you have a few tables that you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. They're going to be there for several hours because it's a lavish dinner. Mm-hmm. The bill's going to be big, so your tip is going to be big. Right. Comparing someone like that to somebody who works at Burger King.
I agree. Yeah. I always equated it to the In-N-Out at lunchtime.
Yeah.
It's parking's bad or badly placed. They seemingly don't know how to form a line. None of the kids knew how to do anything. And it was, yes, I agree. So Dubai.
Yes, in Dubai. So anyhow, one of the stories was it was a prince, I believe it was Qatar. And they were staying in Dubai and wanted to buy a gift for, I guess, one of his wives or his wife. And it was a Rolls Royce. I think it was a Silver Cloud, and he wanted it delivered. It was Ghost. Sorry, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he wanted it delivered.
Yes.
Yes. So the problem is that, a couple of issues. It was, I believe, a Thursday. And having been in the Middle East, where their Friday is like their Sunday here. Yes. For most businesses are closed, at least until sundown. Dubai, they will open up at sundown on Friday. It's really cool. Go to the Gold Souk. It's a great place.
Okay.
But they're closed there, and he has to get this gift and get it delivered in time. So he finds the dealership. It's a $300,000 car. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
But now he's got to try to arrange to get it transported to Qatar.
350, by the way. I have the article in front of me.
Oh, was it? Thank you.
350.
Thanks. 350. Yeah. All right, good. 350. And he knows somebody whose uncle works in transportation. They find a plane that could take it over there.
Yes.
No, it's not really far. Forget how far. You could drive it in like 5-6 hours. But anyhow, it was $95,000 to ship it.
You know what? I apologize. You were right. 300,000 for the car.
Yeah.
350 dirhams.
Oh, dirhams. Okay.
Dirhams,
Yeah, okay.
which is $95,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
We never did that, John.
No, we never did that. We wouldn't be allowed to.
No.
It's because you've been gone from the desk too long.
Yeah. Yes. We were tethered. So yes, that's an extreme example of a concierge doing the classic job
I
of
wonder
a
what kind
concierge.
of tip he got.
I don't know. Well, if you notice in the article, now this is the person we never got either. It says, quote, it'll cost, he's speaking to the sheikh.
Yeah.
It says it'll cost 350 dirhams, approximately $95,000, and Abonatala, which apparently is the sheikh's name, don't give me rates, just do it. We never got that guy.
No, we never did.
We never got that guy.
No.
We always got the guy, arguing with me for 2 half-ass tickets to Madonna.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember one time I had a guy, and he wanted to rent. This is the closest I ever came to anything like this. He wanted a treadmill in his room. Now, first of all, I think as somebody who work, I into exercise. I like to think there's probably no more useless piece of gym equipment than a treadmill. It's huge. Just go outside and walk. Yeah, basically, right? But anyhow, he wanted the treadmill, and he wanted it in his room. I mean, they've got one on the 4th floor.
Yes.
No, he didn't want to go there. He wanted it in his room. Fine. Well, the problem wasn't getting the rental on the treadmill. It was the delivery.
Yeah.
And he bitched and moaned. I didn't blame him. I mean, it was like $300-400 to deliver it and have it lugged up the stairs and set up for this guy. That's what it costs. I'm not adding to it. I'm not putting, hey, I'm going to clean up on this guy and I'm gonna that's what it was. If you don't want to pay $300-400 to have it delivered plus the cost of the treadmill,
right,
then go to the 4th floor or go walk around the out in the hallway or run up and down.
Area,
walk to the convention area. Yeah. So that was the closest I came.
So that's an example of concierge. There's the disparity between the two is just there's a chasm between us. Yeah. I always use the Michael J. Fox film For Love or Money. Yeah. Where he was an entirely enjoyable concierge. I mean, that was the concierge we thought we were going to be, but unfortunately that was not the case. We were strapped. Well, see, what people don't understand is that concierge, we had to have. These are the things that we had to have to be the concierge. We had to have a gaming card. Yeah. Because at some point we would be touching chips, and they required that, and dealing with funds. Yeah. We had to have a TAM card, which is for
tobacco and alcohol management.
Yes, because we were going to arrange alcohol and so on and so forth. Let's see, was that it? Yes, TAM and gaming.
And of course, to get the gaming card, you got to be fingerprinted and go down to the police station.
We had to be officially on the grid. Yeah. And we had to do all that type of thing. But and it really didn't surface very often. I mean, I every once in a while would take chips to a big player, and alcohol beyond champagne, and maybe I did a couple of Maker's Mark bottles, but not a lot of requests in that area.
No, the ones who really needed the TAM card were those fucking managers that would say, "Hey, there's a line and people are angry because the computers need to be rebooted. Yes, bring around the cocktail waitress so that they can." Yeah, great. Now they're going to get even drunker. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you really need to know how to manage these people.
Well, speaking of drunk, John, I one of the things we've had a lot of requests to talk about what's going on with drinking. Yeah. Not our drinking. No. Yeah, that's yours. Yeah. Mine is
yours is non-existent. Mine isn't very much.
No. But let's talk about some alcohol-related Las Vegas stuff. All right. There's so many people that ask me what the current drink atmosphere is by Twitter and Facebook and everything. I didn't individualize anybody. I kind of lumped it all into one thing.
Yeah.
So what is the current drink of Vegas? So I looked that up.
Okay.
Not being a drinker, I had to look it up, but I was thrilled to see all this new information that some of which I knew, some of which I didn't know. But Vegas is, if people don't know, visitors to Vegas is a giant sponge of trends.
Yeah.
Whatever is trendy, Vegas will get it pretty quickly.
Yeah. Especially if there's a way to wring a couple dollars out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. But we wear that coat right on the top of our chest there. But this one, sour beers.
Mm.
Yeah, sour beers, where the fermentation process is made different by fruits, by vegetables, by its own fermentation process, and altering the hop structure. But sour beers, Gose, Gose. That's one, a very popular one to order here in Las Vegas. But I went right from sour beers, which I would never like.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Are you a beer guy?
I like Guinness.
You like Guinness?
I'll drink Guinness.
A big old stout.
Yes, a beer milkshake.
A beer milk. Yes. I was told, but no. See, John and I agree on most everything. I don't agree. It's awful. It's smoother than normal beer, but on the sip that I had, it was sludge.
You know, when I was at the airport last week in Phoenix, and there was a couple sitting next to me at the bar, and I guess we would have absolutely nothing in common with these people. I was just listening to them. I mean, talking to the bartender, and the bartender asked, this woman was saying, "I'm 1,000%." Now that's nails on a chalkboard to me. And what do you mean 1,000%? I'm 1,000%. Yeah, Bud Light girl. That's what she said. And I thought, ew. I remember what John Cleese had said, about American beer is like sex in a canoe. They're fucking close to water. And I would say the same thing. If there's anything worse than Coors, than Bud Light, it's Coors Light. Anything with light.
Yes.
Give me, yeah. And the interesting thing is about Guinness is it actually has fewer calories than a lot of regular beer.
Yeah, totally, and I was surprised by that fact.
Yeah.
Because it looked, you get these giant, pilsners, full, not pilsner, but a Guinness glass, and it looks like it would be your calorie count for the month.
Yeah,
you're totally right. Yeah, 1,000%.
But it is an acquired taste, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. I think beer in general, alcohol in general. But you're right about the 1,000%. I had a math teacher and an algebra teacher.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't remember his name now. But he impressed upon his class and me that you cannot have more than 100% of a thing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give 110%, you're incorrect. You can give 100% of what you can give.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So sour beers, very strange. Fermentation is a very popular thing to do in the foodie culture.
Yeah. Very healthy for you.
Very healthy.
Anything fermented.
Yeah,
that's why
especially
wine is.
The fermented cabbage. The kimchi.
Yeah.
If you watch Andrew Zimmern on Travel Channel, he eats the most atrocious things, like 1,000-year-old egg. In this case, that's actually what it's called, and it's this black, horrible-looking egg. They actually have those here in Las Vegas. It's all fermented, but sour beer, not I can't really give my go-ahead on that one. Then the next one really made me laugh. Because this they might as well just stamp it millennial, stamp it hipster, put a beard on it, send it out with a hat. Sustainable beverages. Do you know what that is?
Is it that the ingredients are sourced?
Very good, John. Yeah. Outstanding. Also, they include the subject of the straw.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it cannot be a sustainable beverage with a plastic straw.
Yeah. Of course, in my day, going back to the 70s, wild crafted mushrooms.
Yes, right, exactly. But so sustainable beverages, and one blurb that I read was this bartender who gained notoriety in Los Angeles is now coming here. He's going to be actually he's at the Ghost Donkey, I believe. Okay. That's at the Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Is to reuse coffee grounds and the zest that he used, and I know I'm going to get a lot of letters, if you will, but I don't want anybody reusing shit for me.
No,
that's fine. make some new lemon. Make some new lemon zest for me. Don't use what I screwed the last guy and passed the savings on to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't want used things in my drink. Now I know that the crafting artists, that the bartenders, I know that they'll tell me why it's a good thing, but come on.
Throw it in the compost heap.
Yeah, make some new with compost. Yeah, exactly. Now, so yeah, you're equally turned off by that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I remember even years ago going into it when I lived in Monterey. Actually I had a tobacco shop.
Yeah.
And I went in there just because I had a friend that smoked, and he was in there to buy a pack of cigarettes. They were selling organic cigarettes.
Right.
And I thought, I don't know, is the cancer that you get from these cigarettes better somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there I don't know. Is it a pure? It's at least it's not it's not a GMO. It's not full of chemicals.
Yeah.
It's a pure cancer.
The next thing, which I have to admit, I have had a sip.
All right.
Is and they're okay for individuals that like carbonation.
Yeah.
Is hard seltzers. And they're very light. They're sort of the wine spritzer of today.
Okay.
It's okay. And they have fruity, and they serve them by the can here in Vegas hotspots. And Lee's, our very famous liquor store, Lee's. If you're ever coming here, and are needing nicely priced alcohol and don't want to pay the casino prices, just go down the road towards South Point. Yeah, Lee's Liquor, really good. So sparkling or hard seltzer. This one really made me again chuckle. 0 or no proof cocktails.
Well, that would be like fruit juice, yeah.
Exactly. But we gotta millennialize it. 0 no proof cocktails, and apparently
is it like near beer or does that get included?
No, it's literally just it's when you go to like Fridays and it says non-alcoholic and it says
it's like a pina colada,
tropicolada, something exactly
with just the mix,
exactly. But we got to rename everything, to make sure. But apparently though the new trend is that the 0 and no proof cocktails, virgin cocktail is no longer going to be the sort of the leper of the cocktail category.
I see.
Bartenders are going to now handcraft them. So they have an equal footing with alcohol based. Yeah. Which I
never thought about whatever happened to the Roy Rogers and the Shirley Temple. Right? That's what you gave kids. They are so old. Even they were old when I was a kid. What do they call them now? They still call them that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
I need to find that out.
I don't know. Yeah, Roy Rogers and I don't know. No, they call them that. I'm just
trying to think. They
still
call them that, a Shirley Temple?
Sure. You can get a Shirley Temple. Roy Rogers probably is way in the back of that little red book, bartender's book. I don't know that.
Is there a difference between the Shirley Temple and the Roy Rogers besides the name? I don't know. As a kid, it was one or the other, and it was just, it was a
Roy Rogers. Help us out, folks. Let me know. But Roy Rogers was with a cola base, and Shirley Temple was with a 7-Up base.
Okay,
I thought. All right.
It's been too long since I had one.
Yeah, but either way, it's cherry juice.
Yeah,
cherry
exactly.
Juice and Coke.
That's what I meant.
Soda.
That's what it tasted like.
Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna make the virgin virgin beverages really. They're gonna make them nice now, and charge.
What's
3
the point of coming to Las Vegas? The whole point was to come and get drunk. I thought. It used to be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because they're not going to charge any less.
Yeah,
they're going to charge quite a bit more.
That's right.
And now here's one I wanted your opinion on. Actually, I want everybody's opinion on this one. I had recently had a talk with my really good friend Carla, and we talked about the CBD movement.
Yes.
And is it cannabinoid or cannabinoid? Because I've heard them both. What do you think, John?
I think it's cannabinoid.
Yeah. Is the emphasis on the wrong syllable?
Yes.
I don't know. CBD cocktails. What do you think?
I don't know. I'll try it.
I know you will, John.
Yeah. In fact, I haven't tried. I meant to try it last night. I got a free sample.
Yeah.
From the place where I go to an infrared sauna now and then to really sweat out everything.
Yes.
And they've been starting to sell CBD infused water and other things. And I was talking about where do you get it? And they said they source it out of Oregon. I said they got good stuff in Oregon. They had Northern California is what I remember. But
Oregon. The granolas do pretty well.
Yeah. So she said, "Here, I'll give you a sample." Great, thanks.
Yeah, but what happens when here I'll give you a sample. You go home, you don't finish it, or you don't even pop it open yet.
Yeah.
Put it in the fridge, and little Johnny comes home from school and slams down a water.
He's the one who really needs it.
Well, sure.
I think. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Is there? You know, I told you this story, Jamie, before. I'm going back to when I was like early 20s, and I was at the Walgreens or something like that, and there was a guy talking to the pharmacist about his prescription.
Yeah.
And he was saying, "Will it make me woozy?" It was an old guy, and she said, "No, sir. You know, it'll do this and that." And he goes, "Oh, so it won't make me feel woozy?" Yeah. She said, "No, it won't." And oh, so I won't. No, you know. And the thing was, I think she was losing her patience. But I thought, no. It's not that he's old and slow. He's disappointed. He's hoping he wants to feel woozy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. She didn't understand that. I got it. I understand it, dude. Yeah. Hey, am I going to get jacked on this stuff? You know, besides having whatever problem he had.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
apparently not. The CBD stuff is I have no personal knowledge of it, but I've been told by several of the people that use it, like the oils and the infused whatevers. They infuse everything now. Yeah. That it does not. It just makes you feel like the description that has been oft used for it is that it makes everything seem okay.
Oh, good.
I don't know, but they say you're not high, but everything's okay.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Like if you think,
I meant to try it last night.
Yeah, but if you think everything's okay, you're high.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, but you'll try one.
Oh yeah,
you'll try one.
Try
okay.
I'll let you know.
But you haven't.
I haven't.
Have you tried anything CBD infused?
No, not yet. I mean, it's been pretty new. I've seen it, but I thought, I will. I will.
Okay.
It's the same thing like going to dispensary. Yeah, I'll go. Oh, there's one over there. Well, I'll stop the next time. Mm-hmm. See what they got.
They're not very convenient here in Vegas.
No.
I mean, I'm sort of pissy when it comes to going out on the road and dealing with people. Unfortunately, because of the rules of the dispensaries, they're not very. They're in pretty crappy areas.
Yeah, because I mean, even in the old days, the dispensary was a guy on the street corner. Right?
Yeah.
Hey man, what do you got?
Yeah, now that they call them dispensaries and not head shops, they're still not in good areas.
Yeah.
But back to alcohol.
Yeah.
People they beat me over the head to talk about where to go. So I have a little list,
right.
I have a little six spot list here. We've talked about the number one on the list, the Underground at the Mob Museum.
Yeah.
I have great things to say about that, except the prices. But the prices are pretty standard prices, when you're not when you're not juiced in and getting the drinks for free.
Yeah.
But the Underground, it has a speakeasy feel, good seating, plenty of seating, good bar, and it's not a communal bar. You're not staring at somebody.
Yeah.
You're staring at the bartender, and the bartenders were decent, and the drinks were attractive, and it was sufficiently dark, but not so much you'd fall down.
Yeah.
But the Underground is a really great place, and again, I can't say enough about the Mob Museum. If you get a chance, go visit that.
Now, I know that last week when it was Valentine's Day that they had locals were free.
Yes.
And I think even if you were, everyone else was 50% off or something like that. So I don't know if that applied to the speakeasy.
Oh yeah, check holidays. If you're here during holidays, check Groupon, check all different types of things. Even check Vegas.com. They have some discounts, and you can get some really fantastic, non-gambling things happening. It's great, and the Mob Museum is part of that. Number two, in downtown Las Vegas, we've talked about quite a bit, and people are always asking me, are there bars with secret doors like L.A.? And like, well, yeah, kinda. I mean, the
can't be too secret; they go out of business.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta sort of have a light above the door. But there's one that apparently, I don't know why people think it's hard to find. It to me it wasn't, but it's called the Downtown Cocktail Room, and it has a very difficult door to find because the signage is so small. But if it's a pretty standard cocktail room. I've seen it. I have not been in it, but my couple of friends recently went there and had a wonderful time. So Downtown Cocktail Room, it's not like an escape room type of mystery. They want you to come in.
Yes.
But it's the closest thing.
No password.
Yeah, no password. But it's the closest thing to what people are talking about in Los Angeles. The next one is the one that sort of gives me a cramp. It's a beautiful place. I've been there several times. I've worked near and in there. The Commonwealth.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it is geared towards the millennial, towards the hipster, towards the new crowd that would like to talk to each other. Now, to me, talking, yapping and talking to each other and doing all that is contrary to most bar goers. But this new type of lounge atmosphere, I have to accept. But it's a communal bar. You're absolutely going to meet people. You're absolutely going to interact with everybody and everything. And you know what? That's cool. I don't know if I'd like it. I don't know if you'd like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're a communal bar kind of guy.
No.
Yeah.
Not too cranky.
Yeah. And my buddy, my brother-in-law, actually, Don, he's the classic guy. Go sit at the bar, watch a game, have a lot of beers, and leave him alone. He don't want to talk. So yeah, communal Commonwealth, beautiful, beautiful bar. Communal though. The next one is something you might like, Corduroy. If you love 70s rock music.
Oh.
And also featuring PBR and Schlitz.
Oh. Oh. No, Schlitz malt liquor. No, I have a grudge with with that malt liquor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a bad evening?
I had a bad evening, or three.
Most people's tequila. Yours is Schlitz.
The one was Schlitz and Mickey's Big Mouth.
Okay.
Because they had a higher alcohol content. I think because it's malt liquor, so you got drunk faster. So you got more bang for your buck, quite literally.
Yes.
But it's funny, there are some alcohols. I've mentioned this before. Gin, vodka. I will not drink because I got drunk on those when I was a kid and made me sick, and I never touched it again.
Yeah.
Southern Comfort is another one that's just awful.
I have so many friends with the Soko story.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah. But beer. And the dark alcohols, more like a whiskey no, I'm okay with those. Jack Daniels. Yeah, I mean, I will drink it. They don't revolt me like gin and vodka, just the smell of it. I mean, I even tried to say, okay, it's been a lot of years. I think I'll try it. And it was just revolting. Oh God.
Well, so if you everybody out there, if you're in Vegas, check out Corduroy, 70s themed.
Where's it at?
You know what? I forgot my notes. Hold on one second. The next one I was going to talk about is the Atomic Liquor or Atomic Liquors. It was established in 1945.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And it had some wonderful history.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, it also features it's featuring the sour beer. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I had no plans on linking those two things, and it's there it was. I couldn't believe it. But the Atomic Liquor, it had people back in the day, the Rat Pack, the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah. And then it closed for a while, didn't it?
Closed for a while. Milton Berle, George Burns.
Yeah.
They would all go there after their shows.
Yeah.
Such a cool place. It's more of a packaged liquor place now.
Yeah.
Corduroy, by the way, on Fremont Street.
Okay, downtown. Then.
Yeah, exactly, downtown. There's a whole cluster of them now.
Yeah.
But if it's 70s music.
Right.
I don't know. ABBA. Is that ABBA?
No. I mean, for me, the 70s is Led Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would listen to.
Yeah, I guess ABBA's pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Led Zeppelin. All right. But Atomic Liquor, more of a packaged liquor now with a bar. You can still enjoy it. I mean, it is classic looking. The feel is wonderful. Lots of stuff going on there all the time. They're doing the hipster sour beer stuff apparently.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a joke. Probably half of the listeners that listen to the Pod Bay Door have no idea who Milton Berle, George Burns is. I don't know. But Milton Berle said, George Burns was a comedian, a wife named Gracie.
Yes, Gracie Allen.
Gracie Allen, and he would always, back in the day, he was always sort of innuendo about him having sex.
Yes.
And the best joke Milton Berle ever said was George Burns having sex is like shooting pool with a rope. Love that. Love that.
Both of them. I mean, George Burns lived, I think, to be 100.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
And Milton Berle, not too far behind him, I don't think.
Yeah, but if you want to see nostalgic pictures and all different types of things of the people that we're talking about, Atomic Liquor, and I will put a link to that on the blog, which is going to reinstitute itself with this episode, hopefully. Number 6, Frankie's Tiki Room, and I'm going to have to include the Golden Tiki Room.
Yeah,
both of which are wonderful. I mean, they have, they have a wonderful tiki room in San Francisco.
Yes. Yeah, I've been to that one.
Yes. And it's much like that, but a little seedier.
Yeah.
And you know what? Better for that.
Yes.
They have pictures of like Gilligan's Island, and they have
cool.
little volcanoes that go off.
Yeah.
And they have specialty drinks. Golden Tiki is right next to a Chinese restaurant. And they allow the Chinese food to come in. Golden Tiki only does.
I think when I was a kid,
yeah.
I had an earned doctorate in
Yes.
Gilligan's Island. I'd seen every episode. At least 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
So.
Very few alive. Are they? Alan Hale, definitely dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Bob Denver's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he died too.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Magoo died.
Yes.
Thurston Howell.
Jim Backus.
Jim Backus,
Yes,
thank
Jim Backus.
you. And Natalie Schaefer was his wife.
Yes. Oh,
and then there was Marianne and Ginger.
and the
professor. You could classify kids. That was kind of the thing to do. I mean, psychologically.
Yeah.
Which one of those women did you really like? And
Marianne.
Yeah, I like Marianne
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah,
and I know some guys, I like Ginger. Well, you like those high maintenance ones.
No, I like the shorts.
Yeah.
The little Daisy Dukes, which
Yes.
wasn't a Daisy Duke back in the day.
Yeah, and then you had the eunuch, the professor.
The professor.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I went to a party once in San Francisco, and I met a young woman there, and she was performing in a stage play in San Francisco. And she told me that her father was Russell Johnson. I said, the professor?
No
and she,
way.
yes, it was her father. He goes, oh, yeah, everybody just remembered. I mean, poor guy. I mean, he couldn't do anything else. You looked at him in any other role, he was just always the professor.
Yeah. Yeah, well. So Frankie's Tiki Room, Golden Tiki Room, absolutely add that to your list when you come to Vegas. They're fun, they're light, they're entertaining. They have more to do than just drink. They're both in and around the ones directly in Chinatown, the ones on the outskirts.
And that means if they're off strip, they're going to be cheaper also.
They're going to be cheaper, totally reasonable. And for those of you Disney World and Land and Disney fans, Golden Tiki serves Dole Whip.
No.
Which is the soft serve pineapple ice cream.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
So,
and you're going to find, I mean, we've been asked before about Asian food in Las Vegas. You're going to find some of the better ones are going to be right there on Spring Mountain Road out there in Chinatown. And there's so many little restaurants there that you're going to find something probably really good right in there.
Yeah. So there you go, John. A few places to come and visit. It's a little bit of drink lore.
Yeah.
What's your drink? What's your drink nowadays?
Well, I still stick with the basics. I just go with my Guinness.
Yes.
I'll go with wine.
Okay.
I don't care if it's red or white. I prefer a little bit of red.
Yeah.
A nice Pinot.
And what was your mixed drink back when you were
mixed drinks? Well, I would
wild?
drink. It was Chivas Regal.
Uh-huh.
Yes, right out of the bottle, or in a glass. Put it in a glass, and I'll drink it. And then
paper bag.
Yeah, with a beer chaser.
With a beer chaser. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, John, we have one question from
Glenfiddich. I like that as well.
Glenfiddich. Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. Yeah.
But that was expensive stuff, though. So
Well,
I had to
sure.
get the, what I did is I used to raid my father's liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
Because people would come over and bring a bottle, and he wouldn't get to, he didn't drink that much. So I knew that he would miss the really good stuff. But the average prices, the stuff in the Jack Daniels, the Chivas Regal, that was the stuff there I could pilfer, and he wouldn't miss it.
John, you've been a rebel for 60 some odd years. Okay, there fan question, John.
All right.
Always to you. I'm just passed up like a dirty shirt, John.
Well, I think maybe the ones that you.
I think it's because it's always me yapping on here. John.
Yes.
Does the Philippine? Okay, Hold on, my writing is so bad. This is from Jameson off
Okay.
of Twitter. Does the Philippine culture sponge up Las Vegas like other Asian cultures? Las Vegas trends. Sorry, let me try that again.
Oh, the trends.
Does Philippine culture sponge up Las Vegas trends like other Asian cultures? And this is stemming from the fact that John often travels to the Philippines.
Yeah.
John.
Oh, I haven't really noticed it. I mean, of course, everyone's heard of it, particularly since Manny, Pacquiao is could possibly be, an honorary mayor of the city.
Yes.
When he fights, he usually fights here. He has a very strong following, more so than Floyd Mayweather, who actually lives here. Right?
Well, we've talked about Floyd.
Yes.
Floyd, Popeyes.
Yes.
His entourage.
Yes,
his bag of money.
Yeah. So, I haven't really. Like I said, everybody, people there have obviously heard of it. They have some ideas of it, but maybe because, and again, I'm thinking about Japan when I lived there and their infatuation with Las Vegas. They had more money. The Japanese did. They like hotels. They are impressed by things that are glitzy and fancy.
Right.
And that somehow seem very, very American.
Okay.
I didn't get that feeling in the Philippines quite like that. Now, they do have their own casinos in Manila.
Yeah.
They have kind of like a street or an area of casinos, and I've been in those. And yeah, there's some gamblers there, some of the locals. But I think on a day-to-day basis, or I really didn't notice anything like that.
Now, how about trends not Las Vegas? Because I know Japan, for example, lives and breathes for whatever we do.
Yeah.
Still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Philippine culture not the same though. Is it?
No, I don't. Maybe because we were over there for so long, and it depends on where you go. Because remember, the Philippines consists of thousands of little islands.
Yeah.
Which is why the lingua franca there is English for like the schools, because almost everybody else is going to speak three languages. They're going to speak English or somewhat. They're going to have their local dialect, and they're going to speak Tagalog or Filipino.
Right.
So you're going to get a mix of those three and where you're at. So the farther away you get from a rural, an urban center like Manila, you're going to see the impact of that, less and less. So you get out not an hour and a half out of Manila, where I like to go up north, and you're going to start seeing water buffalo and the carabao, and it's far more rural. So you're not really going to see the development of things, I don't think. I mean, clothing, sure.
Yeah.
You're going to get that, and you're going to get NBA stuff. Basketball is a national sport of the Philippines, which I always found amusing when in a country where the average man is 5'4". But they have their own basketball leagues, and they often get, kind of like Japanese baseball. They'll get minor league players that we like to say A4.
Okay.
They're better than AAA, but they're not major league level. A lot of those are guys that are kind of like, 32, 33. They still got some.
Can you bet
some
on
miles?
it? Not here, of course, but can you bet on in the Philippines? Can you bet on the games?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
They don't have like an
cockfighting. That's cockfighting out there. Yeah. But they'll have basketball, and that's big. I was really big in China when I visited Beijing. Jesus, they had pictures at that time of Kobe. Kobe Bryant was everywhere.
Okay.
And Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
But in the Philippines, like I said, they love basketball. I can watch the games on TV, which is interesting because of the time difference.
Yeah.
They come on in the morning. But I could watch the NBA playoffs really just on regular television. In the Philippines, like I said, they have their own leagues, which have a mix of some foreign players or maybe some college guys that go over there that maybe didn't make the NBA.
Right.
So that part of the culture definitely.
Wow. Well, very interesting. Well, Jameson, thanks for that question. And please, everybody, send in any questions, corrections. John and I try to do our best to see what's new and popular and trending. I'll even use that word sparingly. But please do send your questions in through any one of our social media outlets. And when you come to Las Vegas, drink up me Hearties. This is episode 97. 98 is coming. Special announcement is coming. Watch the skies above Las Vegas for those strange lights, and we will. The
truth is out there.
The truth is out there, and hopefully we can bring you some fun between now and episode 100. But for John, this is Jamey, and we will see you next week. Thanks to everyone listening and watching. You can catch the Pod Bay Door on the Podbean app or any of your favorite podcast apps, including iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. You can watch the show on our YouTube channel at the Pod Bay Door Podcast. Please download, like, and subscribe. Our social connectivity screen is coming up. Check in with us on Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress. The Pod Bay Door is closed and talent is out. Hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning into the show. We would love to hear your show suggestions and comments. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, please click to subscribe. You can also connect with us on Facebook using @PBD Podcast, on Twitter using @TPBD Podcast, and on WordPress at thepodbaydoor.wordpress.com.